Browns play the Bears at home. Tony Camino there, Andy Billman here. The storyline this week, those have all been about injuries. Who's been out? Grant Delpit out for the regular season, might come back. Maurice Hurst, done. Judd Wills, done. DeJuan Jones, done. Tony, we'll bring it back onto on the field, but it's hard not to discuss the injuries. That's been a major part of this week in Cleveland for the Browns fans.
Yeah, depth is getting tested pretty severely here. We're going to be down a lot of starters. Okoronkwo going to miss a lot of time too.
Yep.
So you're going to see a lot of those training camp preseason battle players are going to be playing a big role for us. Luckily, we felt good about the 53 heading into the season. We felt like we were cutting people who truly deserve to make the team. So hopefully that we were right in that evaluation and that these guys can step up and play the role they need to.
Yeah, big opportunity for Hickman, the young safety out of Ohio State. Big opportunity for Alex Wright, the young defensive end out of UAB, who's been this is his second year or third year, I can't remember.
I think it's his second.
He's not a rookie. Big opportunity for him. He's going to have some excellent opportunities to do some things. You're going to see guys get opportunities in those spots. Big opportunity for James Hudson, who really, up to this point, you kind of cringe when he comes in the game, but he's been playing a lot. And Dron Christensen, which I think he's doing okay. But, yeah, the depth will be tested. It all gets settled down, though, because of Cool Joe, in my opinion. If we had a younger DTR here, I'd be like, oh, my God, it's going to be threading a needle. But Joe Cool is playing very good. He really is for the Browns. He's doing a great job. He fits in well with the city's mold. Tony, I'm part of the big narrative of the positive. I really do like Joe Flacco so far. Been very enjoyable to watch as a fan.
Yeah, I would say I'm a big fan of his calming presence, which you said. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing he brings in. I don't think he's not playing. I think he's surpassing my expectations of he's played for a guy who hasn't played and came right off the couch. His decision-making these last two games hasn't been perfect, which I guess you won't expect it. He's still missing some throws that you would expect him to make. So I'm not going to – I have faith in him because of his calming presence. I'd still like to see a little bit more consistency with decision-making and accuracy, but I have faith in him because of his experience and just his veteran presence that it probably is about – I don't think he's playing much better than we saw DTR do in that Broncos game. However – the calming presence and the faith he gives the offense that he knows what he's doing. He's going to get everybody online. He's going to keep everything handled is worth having him over DTR.
Look, right now, for Flacco to be watching Sunday Ticket 4 weeks later, be throwing passes. It's remarkable. Tony's not wrong, but I think he's going to get better. I don't know how to explain it. I think he's going to get better. And let me just say this again about DTR. I'm a believer in DTR. I know Tony is. I like him. I just think in this spot, once you go to a veteran like Flacco, you got to stick and you got to keep going. You just got to ride it out now. And it's a wave of positive momentum. He's not perfect. Yes. DTR is a lot more athletic and can do there's no question. With that said, Flacco's the guy. And the team, you can tell by videos and just nonverbal, really enjoy playing with him. Bears, to me, I talked about this Tony before he came on, so he knows what I'm going to say. If you like 1980s football, you're going to love the Bears. They run the ball, they stop the run. That's it. Those are their big two things they do. They are one of the best run stoppers in the league. They are number 2 overall in yardage. They do not allow running plays to develop. They don't. They are suffocating that way. They also run the ball very well. I believe they're in the top 8 of the league in running. So, Tony, the Browns are going to have to stop the run, and they're going to have to get creative with the pass, in my opinion, to get around the Bears because of the challenges the offensive line and running back room.
Yeah, basically exactly how it's going to go. I think with the way of the weather, they're expecting pretty constant rain throughout with some wind, so it's going to favor those running situations. But that's really the keys of every game, really, but especially in the games once Deshaun went out. Stop the run, run the ball, and this opponent really exemplifies that because they do those things very well. They run a lot with their quarterback, design runs with him, scrambles with him, which helps their numbers game, and they do stop the run well. I think in the receiving game, they do like to take some deep shots, like Justin Fields, as many Ohio State fans know, he's really good at throwing the deep ball. That's probably his best throwing attribute.
Right.
Luckily, the weather probably isn't going to allow it. They do have DJ Moore, who's having a great season whenever Fields plays. That's my only slim concern in the pass game, but we have the personnel to handle that. The running the ball, we also have the personnel to stop it. Not so sure we have the personnel to run the ball, which is what's concerning with the makeshift offensive line we're going to have for the rest of the year. And the way they've stopped the run all year, it should be it's probably not going to be easy to run the ball, but it's going to be something they have to get better at if they want to make any sort of serious run.
Yeah, what I will say is I'm to the point. Jerome Ford's he's doing the job. He's technically more of a backup, he's a great backup. I just don't think he's a bell cow. He gets injured too much. He's got a wrist injury right now he's dealing with. And Kareem Hunt, he's just not that guy anymore. So, yeah, I agree with Tony. I think you're going to have to do more, especially with the offensive line going through all these injuries. They're going to have to do short passes. Again, that's where Flacco helps. He's got a strong arm. Guy can make passes in the rain. He's not afraid to do that kind of stuff. I think we'll be okay here. And as for the Browns defense, I'm glad to hear Tony say it because I don't know if I'm so sure as Tony is. Browns defense has got to get tough. But I would think in this game, Tony, I don't do this a lot. I would force the Bears to pass. I would stuff that box and be like, you throw it, Justin Fields. Let's see what you can do. Because truthfully, that's how the Browns can win. I would put as much pressure on making them throw in this game. I really would. Yeah, I'd put all the pressure in the world on them.
The really good news is that the general consensus over these last few weeks, which it's not wrong, but the Browns haven't been getting those pressures and sack numbers that they've been getting in the weeks leading up to it, because if you look at the time to throw stats of the last couple of quarterbacks, 2.3, 2.4, like some of the lowest in the NFL. Yeah. They get Justin Fields this week. We all know what happened to Justin Fields in Cleveland in 2021, and that happened because he's got one of the longest time to throws in all of football. He's taken like 3.4 seconds to throw it, which is a ridiculously long time. While this Bears O-line doesn't allow a ton of pressures, Fields will create a lot of that pressure himself because his style is so much of holding the ball and trying to make things happen with his legs. That should bode well for the Browns D-line. If the plays are lasting longer, we're not seeing the ball get out super fast. Let the D-line get home. I think you could see a big sack day like we saw in 2021, like we've seen all year, and we just haven't seen these last few weeks.
Add to the fuel that Myles Garrett's not thrilled about the referees, and I think it makes for a perfect Alexa in this game. As you can tell, Tony and I are both pretty confident about the Browns in this game. Here's the one thing I'll say. Because of all the injuries and because the Bears are coming in well, this is not a give me. This is not the Arizona Cardinals. I knew I hate saying it. I knew the Browns were going to win that game. Mm-hmm. Once I saw the developments, like, this is a freebie. Just take it. This is not the same here. The Bears can win this game, but the Browns should be, if the Browns could take away the run, make Fields throw, along with Flacco and the offense, I think they're going to be in pretty good shape. The only thing here is turnovers. The Browns do give away a lot of turnovers in this. That's the only thing here I see, Tony. And on a wet, windy day, that can happen. So protect the ball is my last big note in this game. Got to protect it.
That'll be the huge key. And luckily, the Fields has not been great with turnovers recently. He's been better. Hasn't thrown an interception in a while.
Right.
But I think the good news is the Browns' turnovers have been an issue this year. I think the problem is a lot of it has just gone to bad luck. You look at last week's turnovers, Cooper fumbles. I mean,
that was a guy. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
that looked like a guy who hadn't practiced. That just looked like a guy you could just tell. It's like he was trying to change the ball over, and he was just a little slower than what he normally is.
But even still, like, the defender who got the ball out wasn't trying to punch it out. It kind of was just one of those crazy luck, crazy timing. He went and tucked the ball right in his right hand, right as the guy was wrapping him up. So his hand kind of just conveniently happened to be in the right spot. Flacco threw an interception, just making the wrong read. And so we saw a lot of turnovers that were just happening on the other one. Flacco takes the hit as we let a free rusher come. Yeah. So a lot of stuff was just fluky turnover stuff that shouldn't continue. And I think the way the defense plays, we'll see more turnover luck in our favor.
I'll say the Flacco one is anytime the blindside block, it's a good chance you're going to fumble. So I'm not going to say that. I can see that happening again to the Browns. I'm being honest. Browns have offensive line problems. So I can see a big sack making a fumble go. The Cooper play was fluky. And he did – I know what you're saying, and you're right. He did hold the ball loosely. And he was
just getting it to his right.
No, he was exchanging it. Usually he's pretty fluent. Usually you don't even notice. It's like a ninja. But he wasn't on that play. And in fact, the ball was like, it was not good. Like it was like halfway out of his hand already. So by the time he tucked it, it was kind of loosey-goosey. But again, Cooper had been out. And the guy just came back from having concussion. So I just chalk it up to that kind of stuff. Cooper doesn't do that. That's a once in like will never happen again kind of play. So
yeah, it was just bad luck. But turnovers are going to be huge in this kind of a game.
Yeah,
can't beat yourself, and the defense could really use to do you some favors by setting you up with some short fields.
They did last week again with Flacco and protection. I could see those fumbles happening once or twice more. Just being truthful, he is a statue. He's going to get hit. There's only so many times he can throw out of bounds. Once in a while, you're going to get popped.
Yep.
So hopefully the Browns can protect him as well as possible. All right. So here's where we're at. Browns play the Bears. We both like them in this game. We'll do more of it on Sunday morning. The injuries have been a topic. I would tell fans out there, the injuries can get us all down. But you look at this matchup, it's still favorable. Browns are a 3-point favorite, which means they're even in Vegas because they're basically saying they're giving 3 points to the home team every time. But with that said, there are still players that are playing, and Joe Flacco should be in good shape. Now, look, Tony and I have done this. We'll wake up tomorrow morning and some asteroid will hit somebody's house and something will happen. But for right now on a Saturday morning, we are feeling pretty good. Check out Tony's work again on all of his film reviews on BelieveInTheLand.com. Go to BelieveInTheLand.com for everything leading up to the Browns and Bears. And, of course, @official Cleveland Sports on Instagram after the game.